All right, hi everyone. We are going to make a smaller version of this little boxy bag. This is a beginner version. It's not too hard. Normally what I would do is put this fusible interfacing on the back of both pieces to give it a little bit more structure. But I'm pretty much out of it. So we're going to just do it without it right now. But what you would do is you would take a piece and cut it to the same size as your fabric and iron it on the back. And it's really easy to use. And I encourage you, if you're making a bag, to give away. See, this one is a little bit more, you can feel it's, see, it's just a little bit more stiff. This is a sheer weight. You can actually use medium weight. Or even craft weight is a little stronger, and just iron it on the back of each piece. Now you're going to take a zipper, and I like using a longer zipper because it's easier to keep the zipper head out of the way. And this is the right side of the zipper. See the zipper head? And then this is the right side of the fabric. So you put right sides together. So the right side faces the edge, and then we have another piece that's your lining piece, and I just sandwich it between. Okay, and so those are all right sides together. Okay, this would be the right side of your interface, your lining, facing right sides together. Okay, and then we're going to stitch right in the middle. You can see there's a little line there. It kind of is like your, would be your guide, but we're going to stitch in the middle of this side of the zipper tape all the way down, kind of where the pins are, all the way down, and make sure we back stitch at each edge. All right, so we're going to do that with the sewing machine now. Okay, we're now over at the sewing machine. All right, I'm going to hit the button on the back and take this off. If I can tilt this a little bit. Okay. Put my trash can. All right, there's two sides to your zipper foot. And so you kind of, if you don't know, you can test it out. I'm going to turn my machine on a 1 and a 3. Make it easier. Sorry, I'm learning this camera stand thing. Okay, so I'm going to put this down right on that edge. Okay, now if you had put it on the other edge, it would have been very difficult because it would have been on the outside. And so when I roll my needle down, and always with your hand will turn it towards you. Okay, let's see, I'm hitting that. My machine's been acting up a little bit. Okay, I just changed my needle. Just wanted to make sure that was set up right. Okay, we'll see. All right, so I'm going to put my needle down. I'm going to back stitch. And I'm going to sew right in the middle of that zipper tape. I have to adjust my needle. Yep, I may have to adjust my needle. It's hitting that plate. So I'm going to keep showing you for just a second, and then I'll stop. All right, when you get to the end, you make sure you back stitch the needle up, and you pull it out and cut off your threads. Now, after you get finished, you should have your row, and then when you open it up, it will look like this. And then you're going to put your sides together, match everything up, and then press that seam down. And you're going to top stitch all the way down through there. Okay, now I'm going to top stitch, so I need to take off my zipper foot and put it on the other side. Okay. Now, I'm going to stitch very close to that top edge without getting on the zipper. Okay. And back stitch. Okay, so you've stitched real close to that top edge. Okay. Now, we're going to open this up again. And we're going to put right side of the zipper and right side of the fabric. Matching up, make sure it matches up with this side. Okay, there's that one. And I'm going to put this even with this. Now, we've got to do the same with the lining like we did last time as well. There's some threads I'm going to go ahead and cut off. Okay, now here's the lining piece. We need to put that on the back. You could do it at the same time, but sometimes it's easier to get the first piece done. And then you can take it undone. Match it up. Matching those up real perfect. Alright, now you're going to take the zipper foot again. Let's see, what you're going to see is this. See both of those? Okay. Okay. I'm going to stitch and take the zipper foot off, put it back on the other side. Okay. Put that down, needle down, back stitch. And get these threads out of the way. Okay, and it's just right in the middle of that side. And get to the end of the fabric, your back stitch. Cut off all your threads. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to unzip this and reach in, and you can unzip it. Okay, and what you're going to be looking at, look at that, you can open it all the way up, just flip everything right side out. Now we top stitch one side, and now we need to press the other side down and then top stitch across there. If you don't have an iron too, you can actually pin it. So I'll show you that version too. So you can just pin that down, because what you're going to do is you're going to pull on that up, and you want to pull the lining down. If you've ever got a zipper stuck, like a dress, and you're unzipping it and it gets stuck in your zipper, and that's a pain. So we don't want that to happen. So we're going to pin that down so it's out of the way. And we're going to stitch, top stitch right across that top edge. Okay, so we're also going to move that back over here. Okay. And we're going to stitch on the other side. Back stitch. It's hitting pretty heavy, so I'm going to work on that in a little while. Just keep pulling it down if you take the pin out. That's why I really like ironing it, pressing it down better. Okay, get to the end of the fabric, back stitch. Knittle it, cut off your threads. Okay, so now we're going to zip that back up. And we're going to put this right in the center like that. Now make sure you cut off any threads and get them out of the way. Okay. Alright, so what you're looking at is something like this. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to totally flip it wrong side out. Okay. Now if you sew these sides right now, you'll close it up and your zipper will be messed up. So we're going to unzip this. Okay. And the very first, actually I'm going to take that back. We're going to zip that back up. And we're going to go right to this little edge. Okay. And we're going to go and we're going to stitch right at that little edge. So that edge will stay together while we're working on it. It just makes a lot more sense. Okay. So now we can actually take this little foot off and put our regular foot back on. And I don't try to lift it up. I just hold it, and then lower this down back on it. Alright, so I'm just going to sew across this, keeping the teeth together. I'm pulling across and back real slow. You don't want to break a needle. I'm going back and forth. Okay. Now I can take this zipper, cut off the threads, and now the little zipper head's in here and it won't be on the outside. And then I can take my paper scissors and I can cut off these extra little tabs here. Okay, you just don't want to cut off where you sewed it together. And the same for the other side. Okay, and those two are out of the way. You could actually buy a zipper pull and you could put it on that and save it. Okay, alright, so now we have this. Now the zipper will be in the inside, and we unzipped it a little bit because we want to be able to turn it right side out. And you make sure you center your zipper. Okay, and don't worry if it's off a little bit, because we're going to sew a straight line and we'll fix that. Okay. Okay. First I'm going to sew this side right here. Thread behind to the back, straighten it all up. Now I'm going to use this little line over here. Since we've got a little bit of weird edge right here, I'm going to go over to about the 1 inch mark. Okay, put that down right on the 1 inch mark. I'm going to use that as a guide. Needle down, back stitch back to the beginning. I'm keeping my fabric right on that one as I'm going down across. Go to the end, and back stitch. Okay, now we go to the other side. Okay, I pinned it right on that one. Keeping the teeth kind of pulled together. Getting off the threads. Okay. Now, I have a zipper bag right now, so if I want to trim this off, zigzag the edges, and I'll show you that part. Okay. We're just going to finish it the easy way. I'm going to turn to a number 4 zigzag. Okay. That's my setting. 4 is a zigzag. Okay. So I'm going to put this under here. Put this off the edge, and I'm going to go one on, one off. One on, one off. One on, one off. One on, one off. Don't go too fast if you don't know how to do it. And when you get to the end, I always back stitch. Now, if you got off the edge at all, just go back and fix it. We do this to keep it from fraying. There we go. It kind of wraps around it. It may fray a little bit, but nothing like it would. Okay, so same thing over here. If you want to do it a couple of times, you can. It's up to you. Okay. Alright, so if you wanted to, this would be a completed, easy zipper bag. Cute little zipper bag. Okay, just flat, great for tissues, toiletries. You make it as big as you want, small as you want. There's your little zipper bag. Okay. Okay. Cute as it could be. But no, we're going to do a little bit extra with it. Okay, so what you're going to do, you can take a ruler of some type. And a marquee pen, which I call my girl marquee pen or chalk. Okay. And we're going to put, okay, so we've got these little flat edges right here. We're going to put our finger in there, and we're going to open it up and make a triangle. Okay. So what you see is the same, makes the middle of the triangle. Okay. So you can take your little marquee tool, and I'm going to do 1.5 inches on this one. And make a little mark. Okay. Give it a little straight line. Okay, there's that one. Then you're going to put your finger in the other side. It's flat. If you put your finger in it, you're going to make that a little triangle. And that's in the center. And you're going to go right from the edge. You can also do this with an acrylic ruler, and you'd have a little square edge all the way across. But that's a little 1.5 mark. You go all the way across. Make your little line. You can do this on the table where I'm just holding it so you can see it. Okay. And put another pin there. Okay. And then you can do this for bigger bags as well. There are different ways to hide your seam, but this is a great one for beginners to do in the boxy bag. Okay, here's your little 1.5 inch. And if you want to make it not as tall, you can do it a 1 inch. Okay, let me get the pen. Okay, you can see that. So do it right across. You're going to take this, it's flat, put your hand in it. Make that in the center of your side. Okay. Take this, 1.5 right on the edge. And draw a little line. Okay, so now I've got my 4 little crazy corners. These are great, but they do dry out, so make sure you keep them covered. Alright, let's go back forward. And lay this flat here. Put it between the little legs to the back. See? Across. Oops, I still have it on zigzag. I'm going to put it on 1 and a 3. Down. Now, if you're afraid your fabric's going to get stuck in your machine, start a little forward and then you can always back stitch. And you're going to go all the way across. Get to the end. Make sure you kind of go off the edge and back stitch again. Because you don't want any holes left there. Okay. I'm going to cut off my threads. Now also what you could do is this. I started too far up. Yep, I sure did. So I'm going to put that back down and I'm going to back stitch back to the very beginning. And then go forward again. I'd rather have a couple extra stitches than a hole in my bag. Alright, so you can actually take this and you could fold it in and tack it that way or tack it that way, either way, and just keep that. Okay? Or, ooh, scary, you can cut this off. That's why you make sure there's no holes on either side. You can take this and zigzag the edge, but make sure you zigzag it very well. A 4, and I'm going to up to, so 4.5 width and 1.8 length. I'm going to back stitch and go across. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to do the rest of them. So you cut off any extra threads that you don't want. And that, again, you don't have to cut off the little triangles. You can just tack them down with a little hand sewing needle and thread. And what I use for this one is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper to cut out the 2 pieces. And that is it. And so if you wanted a lower, you didn't want a as high, you could have done the little boxy edge like 1 inch. And you can use the interfacing again. But isn't that just adorable? Okay, and then you just close it up. Now, if you had interfacing in it, it would have it's keeping its shape pretty good. It just kind of collapses on itself. And then you can take the iron and crease the corners if you wanted to too. But that is an adorable, look at that. And so this right here, you can see the height of this is the 1.5 inch. So you probably could have gone a little bit longer and it would have been shorter and a little bit longer. So there's just different sizes. This one I did also 1.5, I think. Let's see. Oh, I take that back. I couldn't measure. This one's 2.5 inches. So, but it was a longer bag. So with this one, I used a piece of paper, 8.5 by 11, but I cut it on the fold so that when you opened it up, it became a wider piece and it goes all the way around it. But you do it the same way. And also when we did the zipper, we could also put little pull tabs on it too. But this is a great little beginner project. Look at that. Just as cute as it can be. It can fit in your purse. And the zigzags, everything holds up just fine. All right. So let's see what you can make, guys. And if you have any questions, just ask. Talk to you later.